My husband and I work together, same business, same walls, and one day I finally hit a wall. I was exhausted, overwhelmed, running on empty. And I went to him and I asked for help. He did what any logical, data-driven person would do. He pulled up his calendar, then he pulled up mine, and he looked at both of them. And then he looked at me and he was frustrated. And he said, "Tell me, what is it that you do?" Not cruelly, but not gently either. Because to him, the evidence was right there on the screen. His calendar was packed. Mine had some white spaces, and the data didn't lie. Except the data was missing something. It was missing everything actually. So I took a breath and I started explaining the employees, the client fires, the family logistics, the house, the scheduling, the remembering, the anticipating, all the things that live between the calendar blocks, the things that have no meeting title, no timestamp, no entry. I laid it all out. And when I finished, he looked at me and said, genuinely trying, "Okay, so how can I help you?" And that's when I snapped, because I had just spent all of my energy making the invisible visible. I had done the emotional labor of explaining the emotional labor, and his response was to hand the pen back to me and say, "You write the list, I'll follow it." He still couldn't get it. And now I also had to manage his helping. That was the moment I understood what the mental load actually is. It's not the work. It's that you can never, ever stop being the one who holds the whole picture together. If you have ever felt unseen, unappreciated, and completely invisible to the person who is supposed to know you best, this video is for you. I'm Kelly Reyes Rivera, a certified life coach and founder of The Balance Coach, where I help people rewire the patterns that are keeping them stuck in their relationships, in their minds, and also in their lives. And today I'm sharing something very personal because I think it might be exactly what you need to hear. And I'm going to give you a way to finally make it visible. So let's name what we are actually talking about, because so many couples fight about the symptom without ever understanding the system. The mental load is not the task themselves, it's the management of them. It's the noticing, the planning, the scheduling, the anticipating, the remembering. It's waking up on a Saturday and already running a 47-item list in the background of your mind before you've had your coffee. It's being the one who notices the toilet paper is low, who knows the pediatrician appointment is next Thursday, who realizes nobody bought a gift for the birthday party on Friday. Your partner isn't doing those tasks? That part can hurt. But here's what actually wears you down to the bone. It's that you can never stop thinking about it. There is a concept in neuroscience called cognitive load. It is the total amount of mental effort being used in your working memory at any given time. When you carry the mental load of a household, a relationship, a family, and a career, your cognitive load is maxed out all the time. You're running at capacity before the day even starts. And when someone walks up to you, mid-overwhelmed, and says, "What should we have for dinner?" they are not just asking about the food, they are adding one more item to a system that is completely full. That's not a communication problem, that's a nervous system problem. And here's what I see happen in so many couples and what happened in my own marriage. One partner starts to notice the imbalance. They feel resentful, exhausted, unseen. So they finally say something, and the other partner, with genuine love and good intention, says, "Just tell me what to do. I'll help you. Just tell me." And on the surface, that sounds supportive, but here's what actually does. It keeps the mental load exactly where it was. Because now you're still the one noticing, you're still the one planning, you're still the one scheduling, you've just added one more job to your list. That's delegating. You're not sharing the load, you're managing a helper. And eventually, it becomes easier to just do it yourself than to explain what needs to be done, when, how, and why. So you stop asking, and the resentment grows underground. This is one of the most common relationship patterns I see in my coaching practice, and one of the most misunderstood. So, what do you actually do? This is where I want to get practical with you, because this isn't just about venting. This is about changing the structure. So step number one, name it without blame. There is a difference between saying, "You never help me," and I need you to understand what it feels like to hold this much in my head at once. One starts a war, the other one opens a door. When I finally had the real conversation with my husband, not the frustrated, crying, I'm at my limit version, but the grounded, clear, here's what's actually happening version, everything changed. I described it exactly as I experienced it that Tuesday. Him, one lane, focus, doing great. Me, 12 lanes, all merging, no guardrails. He didn't know. He genuinely didn't know what it looked like to me. Step number 2, redistribute ownership, not just tasks. Don't give him a to-do list, give him a domain. He owns his school pickups, including knowing the schedule, knowing what happens when there is a conflict, and figuring it out. That entire zone, his brain now holds it. That's the difference between task sharing and actually offloading the mental weight. Step number 3, expect an adjustment period and have compassion for it. When someone takes over a domain they've never managed, they will do it imperfectly at first. They will forget things. They will do it differently than you would. That is the cost of actually sharing the load. If you swap in and take it back every time, you'll have the load back by Friday. Now, I want to share something personal here. This is my faith, and I know it's not for everyone's. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't, but I can't tell this story honestly without it. I kept going to my husband asking him to see me over and over, and every single time I went to him, I was already raging, already crying, already so deep in resentment. Even when he tried to understand, I couldn't receive it. I kept asking him to clarify in different ways, and he kept asking me to clarify in different ways, and we were both just stuck. And then something shifted. I stopped going to him first. I went back to God. And when I got quiet, really quiet, I started to realize something. I was seen. I had been seen the whole time. God saw every single fire I put out, every task I dropped mid-sentence to respond to something more urgent, every client I sat across from with a full smile and a completely present heart, even when I was exhausted before I walked into the door, every time I came home depleted and chose my family anyway, every room I cleaned, everything I remembered so nobody else had to. God saw all of it. And when that landed, when I really let it land, something released in me, because I had been desperately asking my husband to feel something that only God could feel. I was going to Alex empty, already resentful, asking him to make me feel seen, and then feeling completely destroyed when he couldn't do it perfectly. But I wasn't invisible, never was. And from that place, from full instead of from empty, I could finally have the real conversation with my husband. Not raging, not crying, just clear, honest conversation. Here is what I carry, and I need you to understand it. And he could finally hear it. That is the part nobody tells you about the mental load conversation. You can't have it from the bottom of the barrel. You have to be resourced first. For me, that resource is my faith. For you, it might look different, but find it, because you cannot pour from empty, and you cannot be truly heard when you're speaking from a wound. Here is what I want you to take from this. If you're the one carrying the mental load, your exhaustion is real, your frustration is valid, and it is not a character flaw. Your nervous system is simply doing what nervous systems do when they are overloaded. They shut down, snap, or go quiet in ways that look like distance. And if you're the partner who's just realizing you might be the one who's been missing it, you're not a bad person. You were never shown how to see it. Now you can. The goal isn't to keep a score. The goal is to actually share a life. If this resonated with you, I want to hear your version of this story in the comments. And if you are ready to stop carrying this alone, if you want support in finally shifting these patterns in your relationship and in your mind, I want to invite you to book a free discovery call with us. The link is right below this video. We'll talk about where you are, what you've been carrying, and what's actually possible. No pressure, just a real conversation, because you were never meant to hold all of this by yourself. The mental load isn't about chores. It's about who has to hold the whole picture in their mind all the time. When one person always holds the picture, they eventually can't see anything else. That's not laziness. That's just neuroscience.